Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to this kind of chat. There are other things that we must put them into perspective, because now it's becoming too much. I want to address ourselves to the issues, disrespectful events that has been happening at Iamarwa's villa by ungrateful fellas. Let's give credit where it's due. If you look into Iamarwa life, it's only one person who have decided to salvage the whole community and create jobs. But in the backdrop of creating jobs, there are other negative things that have already happened in the name of betrayal, and other people are sponsoring this kind of activity. It's not because of Iamarwa, but other people are sponsoring the haters, and money is exchanging hands. That's a fact. Well, the reasons why sometimes I call Iamarwa the mysterious one, and there is one word that I usually describes him with: an enigma, or enigmatic Iamarwa. So enigma, there's a noun. Enigmatic, that's a verb, which means he has got high affinity for hatred and love in equal measure. Simply means he's like a magnet attracting both love, enemas, and equal hatred enormously going forward. It's been exhibited. Is one man that has been hated and loved by the same people infinite time. What I mean with that one, someone find it so easy to give him an accolade, and in the same breath find it so easy to turn against him within that fraction of a second. Isn't that so mysteriously? Okay. This life of this young man has turned the YouTube as a Netflix movie or as a Hollywood movie that has created both the lovers, that has created both haters. Now we have all the international reactors and the village reactors, people fighting all over left and right. Isn't that a movie or not a movie? Well, that is the same thing I'm talking about. What can we describe such kind of a character or attributes? Of course, an enigma. Of course, enigmatic Iamarwa. Well, before I dive into those kind of betrayal and those kind of ungrateful events that has been witnessed at Iamarwa Place by both ungrateful people, if you're coming across this channel for the very first time, kindly take a moment, a second or two, subscribe to my YouTube channel, click at the notification bell so that whenever I upload a video, YouTube shall notify you instantly. Let's dive in after a break. Welcome back to this YouTube chit chat. This is my YouTube channel, and my name is Senior Zach. Let's dive in, lest we forget. Number one, I realized people love to encourage and reward bad behavior instead of denouncing it blatantly. That is a bad behavior. What are we teaching young people? What are we teaching youth? What kind of idol are we giving youth to worship? Countless number of times this has been seen. It is not right, and it speaks a lot about the African generations and about the youth that are the leaders of tomorrow. If this is the kind of seed we want to plant inside them, for those who are sending money for them, to hate to despise, to abuse the elderly, and to reward after committing atrocity, then such kind of behavior is a behavior of a bandit. That's a bandit behavior. I want to tell people Africans are not warlords. Africans are well behaved. But the current generation that we are seeing along Nyabohanze, that we are seeing that the African youths are being set against each other. If this behavior will continue, I want to assure you guys that what shall ensue going forward shall be deleting peoples, and it's headed that way. If such kind of behavior is what we can reward by sending donations, it's what we can reward by always clapping and giving accolades because person XYZ has fallen out with the iamarwa, you send donation. Person XYZ has abused the iamarwa, you give claps. That is a very bad trend. You are setting a very bad precedent. That shouldn't be the case. No, that one is lack of ethics and ethos and family values going forward. Are you there? It is bad. Number two, I want to speak to disagreements. Most of the disagreement that we've seen happening within Nyabohanze or within this YouTube street, it's not based on principle. The disagreements are non-principle. You know, the moment we shall learn that we need to agree to disagree, but based on principle, then we'll make any kind of reaction so engaging and so constructive going forward without attacking the personality, but attacking the attributes so constructively. But because it is non-factual, because it is baseless, because it is agreement based on gossips, cynical talks, based on material possession, based on unhealthy competition, and so which makes it so toxic, makes us lack the principle of always engaging, because the rule of thumb is always there. It's quite healthy to engage each other in a constructive manner. It's very normal to disagree and agree with a certain principle. But matters gossip, matters material wealth, and matters unhealthy competition, it is so toxic, and one time it might erupt and might explode to be an ethnic war or an ethnic battle. Are you there? Other people are finding it so well, they're living so well in their country, they cannot even tolerate what is happening in Nyabohanze. Yet they find it so very well, sitting at the comfort zone of their coffers and tables, emptying their coffers, sending money to further deteriorate the social fabric, culture within a society. They are breaking it down, they are depleting it down because they want to enjoy drama when the people are fighting iamarwa. Fine. I want to remind you, karma is not a whore. Karma resides in you and is just waiting at what time it will hit. So stay awoke. Number three, I want to address ourselves to the issue of slavery myths that is being created by people who are living in the first class. First of all, I want to let them know that the economical issues and economics of scales are so different apart. Kenya is a third world country, it's not a first class, but it's a fast developing country going forward. So issues payment on issues wages sometimes cannot be so congruent with the issues of even a second class country or a first class country. There's a huge gap and a huge disparity that you cannot compare. So let's talk with fact. An example to a country where I am. I'm in the Middle East. The kind of work that I'm working, if you Google right now, and you compare how the same person who've studied the same course that I've done, and with the job group, working in USA, working in UK, or in Canada, or in Europe, is earning triple more than me. Because there is a rate of a Middle East. Are you there? If you ever studied what is called the law of contracts and international labor requirement, there is a certain kind of a set up wage or particular kind of people that regulates worker and labor. So that is the bare minimum that you could be paid, not more. More, it depends with your company policy, so long as it is not less. So the issue of iamarwa enslaving people, that is far-fetched. No one is enslaving each other. But for the fact, with that economic freedom of any other country, the jobs, if they are unavailable and so limited, then people will be still slave forever, because we're living in a country where there is no such economic freedom. The economic freedom itself is so limited, and that space is so limited that people are being weighed off with a natural selection, and people are facing a redundancy at workplace, not because you haven't gone to school, but because the economy is doing poor. Already you've been enslaved, so it forces you to go do it. Okay, let's talk it this way. Why do Africa suffer brain drain? Because Africa has got smart people, but the economy itself cannot allow them pay their doctor, pay their nurses, pay their teachers so well. So what happens? They run to the fast developing countries. They run. Others run to the Middle East. Others run to the Europe. Others run to the Caribbean countries. Others run to the US and the Canada. And what happens there? Because of the payment, because of the what? Something that they consider the economic freedom. So the system itself enslaves you. So the behavior. So it is not iamarwa who is enslaving people. People are finding hard to fend for money. And what iamarwa is offering is even offering better per minimum, because that is a village. That's not in the city. And there is a pay rate and a retainer fee, so to speaking. So for the ungrateful people, let's give them certain times and we see where they will go thereafter. In fact, they will even settle for other manual jobs that have got not even pay. They will even come back. I'm just wishing them so well, but with the economic scales and the inflation that is happening in Kenya right now, I bet you. That's why you keep on enslaving people with sending them donation, so that they rely on you, so that you tell them to attack Marwa, they attack. So that you tell them to abuse any other people, they do. So that if you tell them to stand right, they stand right. Left, left. They sleep while they're like separated apart, they will simply do that. Are you there? So most of the villagers at Nyaboanzi who have just standing against Mara, so ungrateful, have enslaved themselves by staying at the bottom of the barrel. They've just decided to be what? To be used by the outsider, not to work, send them money, and to be an attack dogs. So unfortunate. Number 4, it's about the workers at Iamarwa's villa. There is one issue, and I've always opined about it and talked about it. Now, the chickens are coming home to roost. Now I'm vindicated. Iamarwa also has talked about it, but the problem is he hasn't taken the precautions and the measures and the advice as we put aforementioned. It's about the spies. Well, we'll talk about it. It is either you are a worker employed by Iamarwa or you are a YouTuber. You cannot mix the two, because there is a conflict of interest. That is a fact. You cannot mix the two because there is a conflict of interest. That is a fact. The reason as to why, and if Iamarwa want to achieve this, let no worker who's coming to work be allowed with phone at the work premises. They get in, they keep their phones at the safe or with the security guard, locked. They want to make call, they will descend down, comes, make a call, deposit there, but no camera shooting. You've just seen the spies filling with Iamarwa, laying traps. When they're coming to work, they coming, they humble themselves, they need help, but in the real sense, money has exchanged hands. Iamarwa is having enemies all around. Makosa sana. Very bad. It should never have happened. At least we are learning about that one. That one must be put to stop. Number 5 and the last one, the Villa Medelin assault. So the villa itself has already been assaulted countless times. Something which I always opined, something which I'm never happy about it at all. If you want to know that the villa has been assaulted countless times because the spies are being sent over there. And you know, if somebody sent a spy, and if they're not government spy, then these people ought to be arrested. They're coming there with an ill motive. They can even do any bad thing to you. They can decide to delete you, to poison you, and take any other kind of information from you unawares. Number 2, trespass. It is a place where people trespass anytime they want, anytime they wish. They are even very ready to argue with the security guard and even insult the gateman at will. So bad. It is also a place that's being assaulted every day, that in the YouTuber and the villagers must saw some 3 stooges or 4 stooges referring Villa Medelin as a swamp. What a negative word. And the people referring Villa Medelin as a swamp, living in mud houses. I'm very sorry because I'm African, but I just have to say the truth. A swamp has got a villa. The stooge is calling it living a deplorable situation and condition. That is it. Such kind of people and act must be reported to the police and must be apprehended and prosecuted going forward, because these are crimes punishable by law, if not state. To wrap these conversations going forward, if your life all along is premised on negativity, and all that you always think is to delete people, eliminate people, spies on people, and you are on a trajectory of always want to put people down and want to destroy people's life, remember, some opportunity are traps and baits. You must embark on an activity directing you to destroying your own self. So stay woke. Until next time, this is Senior Zach.